We'll see what weird banter is the first thing people hear when the video starts. It's always interesting to see.
Just be completely silent.
My favorite's when it was a recipe. Someone was in mid-recipe, so people couldn't even get the whole recipe.
So it was just the end of the recipe? It was like
it was like the last few ingredients.
I mean, I guess that's cool, except putting babies to bed with
We'll see what weird banter is the first thing.
That's a great way to start off.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Scripts Gone Wild, where family values and wholesomeness go to die. My name is Billy Ray Bruton. I am your host, and tonight I am super excited to close out our month-long series of Halloween-oriented reads with the mother of all Halloween-oriented reads. Well, some people consider it the mother. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. With me tonight as my co-host is Mr. Chris Devlin. Chris, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Billy. Thank you for asking. Thank you so much for asking.
Absolutely. I got a question for you before we get started, Chris. When was the first time you saw Season of the Witch?
I am ashamed to admit I was a latecomer. I didn't see this till my 20s because I kind of bought into, as a young horror fan, the word on the street was that Halloween 3 was the ugly stepchild of the bunch and not worth checking out. And then I was delighted to find on AMC this beautifully weird movie about Celtic masks, and I've been a fan ever since.
It's kind of one of the only movies to do a deep dive into Celtic masks.
I'm doing the Wikipedia, IMDb scan in my brain, and I'm coming up empty. Yeah. I don't know what else could fall under that niche.
Well, tonight for the read, we are benefiting a very awesome charity. It is Everytown for Gun Safety. This was a charity that was suggested by Ms. Tiffany Shepis. Tiffany, do you want to tell us a little bit about why this charity means so much to you?
Yes. First of all, thank you, Scripts Gone Wild, for doing this. Thank you to our super amazing cast that is here, and to Everytown for Gun Safety. Our family had been impacted by gun violence, and even before then, we were big supporters of this organization because they not only provide things for people that have been affected, for survivors, support groups, and just really kind of push for like gun sense safety laws. It's a completely nonpartisan group. It's just about keeping people safe and keeping guns out of people's hands that really shouldn't have them, which is a lot of crazy people. So that's what we are in support of. And I'm just happy that the listeners of this, if they feel so inclined to support it, would do so.
Yeah, and if you would like to support Everytown, you can do it throughout the read. Go to our website, scriptsgonewild.com. You're going to see a donate tab in the top. Click on that donate tab. It's going to take you directly to the Everytown website where you can make a direct donation. We'll also be posting that link in the YouTube chat. And we've got some incentive for you guys, too. If you do make a donation to Everytown, take a screenshot. Send it to us. You can send it to us via social media. You can send it to scriptsgonewild@gmail.com. And whoever makes the single largest donation for the next 48 hours, so we will give it 48 hours. So whoever makes the largest donation wins a prize pack. And that prize pack includes a collector's edition Blu-ray of Halloween 3, the Halloween 3 soundtrack on vinyl, and your choice of one of the 3 Halloween 3 masks. So it's a pretty cool little prize pack.
I gotta go donate now.
That's right. Readers can donate as well. So please make a donation. If it's $1, $5, preferably 10,000, but we get it. You probably don't have that just under couch cushions. So make a donation, take a screenshot, win that awesome prize pack. And right now I want to introduce our amazing cast. We have Tiffany Shepis.
Hey.
Danielle Harris. Cerina Vincent. Brian Quinn. Lou Temple. Rain Pryor. Debbie Rochon. Natasha Gunn. Michael Varrati. Sean Tretta. Izzy Lee. Brian Collins. And Robert Eisenhauer. So So, guys, I want to ask you all a general show of hands. Who all? I'm assuming everybody in this group has seen Halloween 3, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Actually,
Okay.
I have not.
Yeah.
Who has not? Kenzo has.
Kenzo has not seen it.
Oh yeah.
Kenzo
By the
has
way,
seen
Kenzo is our
everyone
designated drinker. So
yeah, you're gonna drink with me tonight, guys.
that's right.
It's
Kenzo,
really
who has not
entertaining.
seen the movie and is drinking
Cheers,
his
friend.
punishment for having.
Oh
not
yes,
seen the
this
movie.
is the punishment I get for seeing every Halloween but.
This
Halloween
might be the
3.
most people though that we've ever had that have actually seen the film they're reading. So that's an
This is an
accomplishment.
awesome
of
film.
ours.
Nice.
It is. I
Yeah.
never understood the controversy.
Usually people just don't prepare. So
I have a
I
feeling
did
if
say I
you've
saw it
never
recently.
I was gonna say if you've never seen this movie and you go into this blind, it is about to get weird. That's
what I'm here for. Is
That's
the
excellent.
weird, man.
Where's Michael?
Yeah.
I'm on page 90 and I don't see Michael.
This script's
Weird.
different than the movie.
Halloween.
yes,
It's
it
very
is a
different,
slightly
yeah.
different script than the movie.
It's a lot different.
I feel like a lot
It
of
hasn't.
people got cut out, and that sucks.
A lot.
I was assigned a role that doesn't actually appear in the script, so I'll just occasionally I'm just going to start babbling and just assume it's
We'll
part of the
pretend
script.
it's that
Hey,
person.
I will
That's the
believe
kind of
whatever you
chaos
say.
that we
Still
cherish.
John Carpenter.
So let me give the rules for the folks at home who have no idea what the hell we are, or what the hell we do. Scripts Gone Wild is a drinking game. If any of our readers flubs a line, misses a cue, does anything that we can construe as a mistake, they have to take a drink. You're going to hear us shouting scream at them. Please shout, or hear us shouting drink at them. Please shout it at home as well. We choose what we call social words. These are words chosen by our Twitter audience. Whenever any of our readers say these words aloud in the script, everybody takes a drink. It doesn't count when I do it with the stage direction. It only counts when the readers say the line in their dialogue. And those words for tonight are Halloween and masks, plural, only the plural. If we did singular, it'd be a very different night.
Yeah, that's scary.
We also have a finish your drink line chosen by our Patreon subscribers. This is a line from the script. Whenever that line is read aloud, everybody finishes whatever drink is in their hand. And that line tonight is Irish Halloween masks. And that's just part of the anti-Irish sentiment that runs through this script. Does anybody have any questions before we dive in and get started? Okay.
Did you send
Hopefully
the
I'll see you guys on the other
script to
side.
me?
Here we go.
Yes, I did send the script.
You don't just have it?
I thought this was improv.
Yeah, we're actually
killed a
improvising
tree.
Halloween 3.
This is animated, right? We're doing
Literally.
this animated, right?
So
Yes.
yes.
Oh my god, I printed it out, you guys.
So
Oh my god,
wow.
that's
very
beautiful.
professional.
Hey, where's
Oh.
Oh,
I like your
that.
Oh, shit,
Way
you
to
guys
go,
found
nerds.
yours. That's- Yeah, I just got an iPad.
Here it
There you
is. We're going to get started with what feels like the appropriate way to get it started, which is with this little jingle. Isn't that lovely?
Camera.
We don't
I
have to
could
drink
see
for all
the
of
moment
those,
where
right?
Kenzo realized this was the worst decision he ever made. In his life.
Oh, good. I'm glad you guys got that because I felt the exact same way. I'm glad it's coming out on the Zoom.
Superimpose over black. Halloween will come. Witchcraft will be set a-going. Demons will be at full speed, running in every pass. Avoid the road, children. Children. Credits. Then at a lonely gas station, a TV screen filled with dramatic shots of Stonehenge.
Leaving British authorities still baffled at and without any substantial clue 9 months after the theft. The Blue Stone was one of 19, believed to represent the 19-year cycle of the moon. It weighs more than 5 tons, making its disappearance a mystery indeed.
The gas station. The attendant, Jones, a man in his 40s, sits comfortably at his desk, feet propped up, his nose buried in a boxing magazine. Outside, the rain comes down in sheets.
But the festival goers seem none the worse for it, as happy celebrants gathered to welcome in the autumn season. Derek Smith at Stonehenge.
And when we come back, Steve will bring us the weather, and Trina will be here to tell you what you can do about junk mail. Stay with us.
Then the bright, happy sound of a commercial. Jones glances at the set. A logo of spirals comes on the video and fills the screen as everyone sings.
8
more days till Halloween.
Halloween.
Eight more days till Halloween.
Shamrock. Oh,
By
perfect.
the
That's
way,
exactly
drink.
how we
Everyone
like
has
to
to
do
drink
it.
for that.
That was good.
Everyone drinks.
Round.
Colorful masks, a witch, a pumpkin, and a skull. Jones turns back to his magazine and a shamrock voice yammers on horrifically beautiful masks at low, low prices. In the pouring rain outside, something moves. A figure separates itself from the background and heads towards the station. The man's foot splashes hugely into frame. He staggers doggedly past the gas pumps, gasping for breath as we follow. Something dangles from his head. He drops it. It is a Halloween mask, an orange pumpkin. He staggers. The attendant turns, startled, to the tune of London Bridge is falling down. The man outside has his face pressed tight against the glass. It is a study in terror and exhaustion. His gray hair is matted. His eyes are wild. Jones opens the door and Grimbridge collapses inward. Jones helps him to the floor.
Jesus Christ, man! What happened?
Grimbridge stares up at the attendant helplessly. He is emaciated. A week's growth of beard, a cut on his cheek. He slumps into unconsciousness.
Oh, man, don't die here! Shit!
The station tow truck roars to life and backs out into the rain. Grimbridge is slumped against the passenger windows. Gears grind, wheels spin, and the trunk hurtles into the night. And finally revealing a tall, thin figure watching from the shadows. It's not Michael Myers. This house. The television plays commercials to an empty room. Upper middle class, suburban. The front door bursts open. John Chalice steps in gingerly, rain and lightning behind him. Square-jawed, late 30s, his hair and his clothing are all wrong for the suburbs.
Anybody home?
A commotion from the other end of the house. Two children run into the room carrying forks, napkins, sandwiches, etc. Bella and Willie straight from the dinner table.
Daddy's here! Daddy's here! Yeah, Daddy, why did you bring us?
The children both hit Chalice at the same time, nearly knocking him over.
Children, we leave our food at the table.
Linda comes in, pretty well coiffed, the perfect suburban wife. Coiffed, not coiffed. I'll drink on that.
Oh, drink.
Perfect suburban wife, except that she and Chalice aren't married anymore. She looks weary. Chalice takes 2 paper bags from his coat.
When did you bring this? Let me see. Let me see.
Hi. Sorry. Bad timing.
I'm used to it. Remember?
Ouch.
Oh, snap.
Ooh. All right. Here.
He hands each child a paper bag. In unison, they pull Halloween masks out. They aren't the kind on TV. They are smaller and painted with dull colors, just a lot shittier. In unison, the children look disappointed.
What's wrong? Don't you like them?
Mommy already got us masks.
Drink.
Drink. Chalice's face falls. The children drop their gifts and scamper behind the sofa, emerging seconds later wearing 2 beautiful silver shamrock masks. Willie wears the skull, his sister a witch head. They prance around the room singing the silver shamrock song. Linda comes over to Chalice and the children settle in front of the TV.
Nice try.
Chalice shrugs, picks up the masks. If it hurts, he doesn't show it much. It hurts. You can tell it hurts. The phone rings. Both children lunge for it.
I'll get it. I'll get it.
Hello? Yes, just a moment. Turn that down.
They return to their perches in front of the TV, still wearing their masks. Bella turns down the volume just as the silver shamrock commercial comes on. Delighted, both children bob and dance to the music.
Yeah? When? Well, what's his condition? All right. I'll come on in. I've got to go.
That's a familiar line.
Bye, kids.
The children are absorbed in their TV dance. Chalice heads for the door and Linda hurries to him.
John, now listen to me. Saturday morning, 10:30, you're picking them up, right? No excuses this time?
Linda.
It's been 4 weeks nonstop. They're your kids too, damn it. I'm going out of my mind, John. I need some personal space. You promised me.
All right. Saturday.
And he is gone. Linda stares out into the rain.
Bastard.
And in the background, the silver shamrock jingle tinkles along. I wish people used tinkles more in scripts. Sierra Madre. Chalice's car slides through the wet rain, rounds a curve, and slices through the main street of the small California town. He drives through the night. The rain lets up. He turns off the wipers. He tries the radio, twisting the dial. Jazz, news, rock, the commercial. 8 more days till Halloween. Halloween. Disgusting. Chalice snaps the radio off. Hospital parking lot. The hospital is some distance away and a couple of stories, modern and stark. A few cars scattered. Chalice's car pulls into a special area near the building. He gets out and heads inside. The tall, thin man is watching. In the hospital corridor, Chalice comes in. He is met by the head nurse, Agnes, a stout woman of middle age.
His condition is stable, but Dr. Castle left early, and I just thought I should...
Sure, it's fine. Where is he?
The nurse points ahead. They go up. We follow. 2 policemen are standing near a gurney on which Grimbridge is lying. Jones, the station attendant, comes over.
Listen, he just walked up to out of the rain. I swear to God, that's all there was to it. I brought him here. I don't want no trouble.
One of the policemen hands Chalice a form to sign. Chalice does so, and the policemen leave. Jones seems relieved. Chalice checks Grimbridge over. He appears to be asleep.
Got a room for him?
13.
Chalice pushes the gurney down the hall.
Hey, can I leave now?
Don't see why not.
Stops it and extends his hand.
Thanks for helping him out.
I always say it may be me next time. And
the gurney has stopped just in front of an open door. Looking past Grimbridge's head, there's a patient in bed, and high up on the wall a television set, and that damn silver shamrock theme. Grimbridge hears it. His eyes pop open. He feebly raises his head, moves his mouth, making a croaking sound. Chalice hears this and flies to Grimbridge, leaning in close.
Can you hear me?
They're going to kill us! All of us!
Nurse! Nurse!
As the nurse comes running, Jones backs fearfully away down the hallway and out the door. Later,
That
Grimbridge
oughta hold him
sleeps
till
peacefully.
morning.
The nurse finishes giving him an injection.
Well, still that ought to hold him till morning.
Oof, great. Who's next?
Nobody. Except for him, it's a quiet night.
I could use a nap.
22's empty.
They go into the hallway. Chalice and the nurse come out and head down the corridor.
Pillows are in the cabinet. There's some milk and cookies in the fridge.
I think I should have married you, Agnes.
He pats her on the behind, as was custom in the 80s. He jumps.
Watch it,
It's a sign of
Buster.
respect.
I play for keeps.
They clown their way down the corridor, their voices receding. Chalice goes into a room, and the nurse ducks in at her station. After a moment, the tall, thin man steps around a corner, and he walks quietly across to Grimbridge's room. In the near darkness, the thin man is no more than a shadow. He glides silently over to the bed, sleeping peacefully, lit dimly by a nearby nightlight. Suddenly, a black-gloved hand clamps down on his mouth. His eyes open dazed. His hands feebly claw at the glove, the sleeve, but his strength is no match for the thin man's. The thin man brings his other hand down towards Grimbridge's face, his thumb and forefinger poised like talons. He stares up in terror. Then he clamps his eyes shut. The thin man brings his hand down, and the thumb and forefinger penetrate deep into Grimbridge's eye sockets. The hand grips hard, vice tight. His feet begin to kick and quiver. Suddenly, the gloved hand jerks outward with a sickening crunch. Grimbridge's face changes shape obscenely. The thin man takes a towel from beside the bed and wipes his gloves on it.
What are you doing in here?
The nurse has come in, is already crossing to the bed, and she sees Grimbridge. Her hand flies to her mouth, and she screams. The thin man walks calmly past her and out the door. Chalice springs up out of his nap. He runs into the hallway, and the thin man slips out the exit door on the far end. Chalice runs down the hallway and into Grimbridge's room.
He's dead. A man just...
Chalice runs again, down the hallway, through a door, down a flight of stairs, through another door, and into the parking lot. Thank God Atkins was in shape. Chalice stops and looks around. In the distance, the thin man reaches his car, and he opens it and gets inside. He starts running for the car. Chalice starts running, drawing close. The thin man takes a container and begins to pour liquid on himself, the dashboard, and the back seat. Chalice slows to a stop, mystified. The thin man strikes a match. For a split second, match light illuminates the thin man's smooth, blank face, wet with gasoline. Woof! Up in flames. He's burning. Chalice is in horror and shock, and he just keeps on burning. Hospital, Grimbridge's room. Chalice stands at the window, bleary-eyed, still in shock. 2 attendants lift Grimbridge's covered body onto a collapsible stretcher. The sheriff, the coroner, and another police officer talk quietly in the corner. The attendants wheel the stretcher to the door. They are met there by Ellie Grimbridge, a pretty woman in her 20s. She is dressed in a suit, obviously prepared to face the tragedy.
Is this?
The sheriff crosses hastily.
Ma'am, I wouldn't. Not just yet.
Let's just get it over with.
The sheriff lifts the sheet gingerly. For just an instant, sheer horror plays across Ellie's face, and she holds it in check. Chalice watches.
Yes, it's my father.
She turns away. The coroner begins to pack his bag.
Who did it?
Oh, some crazy man. Killed himself in the parking lot right after. Drugs, probably. Miss Grimbridge.
Is that it? My father's dead because of some drug freak was amusing himself?
The whole thing is under investigation.
I bet.
Miss Grimbridge, you've had a hard night. And I'm sorry you've come a long way. No one's sorry that I am. Nobody's.
Oh, drink.
Oh, drink. That's a drink.
Man,
That's a drink.
that was rough.
Nobody's sorry that I am about what you've had to come for. Why? Don't you get some rest? This is why I don't print things. When you feel better, I have some questions for you. Maybe some more answers.
The sheriff pats Ellie's shoulder, not her ass. She straightens herself and walks out. Everyone waits for a pregnant moment. Then the sheriff sighs hugely.
All right, boys, let's clear out.
Yep.
The sheriff, God damn it, the
Drink,
stretcher
buddy.
is
Drink.
willed out.
Good man.
Chalice heads wearily towards the exit and a sound stops him. He looks around. Down a side corridor, Ellie is pressed against the wall, half concealed, sobbing quietly. He watches. A television set is mounted high above a bar. A Saturday morning cartoon is playing. There are two people in that bar, Chalice and Charlie the bartender, a muscular fellow with a beard and a beer gut. Chalice is having bourbon for breakfast. Atkins. He looks hungover. He winces at the cartoon.
Hey, Charlie, how about another station?
Charlie
A
changes.
drink?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, maybe so. I think that's a drink.
Yeah.
Charlie changes channels, and a trailer for the movie Halloween is on. An
Hey.
announcer intones promises of a very special horror-thon on Halloween night, brought to you by Silver Shamrock. The familiar tones of the commercial follow.
Any more days till Halloween.
Halloween.
Charlie, come on.
Shamrock.
Shamrock.
What's the matter? Don't you have any Halloween spirit?
That's a drink.
Drink.
That's a drink.
Dead.
Oh shit.
Charlie finds a football game. He draws himself a beer and settles in to watch. The front door opens and Ellie walks in. She is casually dressed.
Hi,
Hello.
my name is Ellie Grimbridge.
I know. John Chalice.
I know.
I'm sorry about your father. I thought about calling or sending flowers or something, but I mean, I figured you'd rather be left alone.
Thanks. You figured right. Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Do you do this every morning?
No, this is a special occasion.
What?
The weekend. It also probably has to do with the fact that I've got to pick up my kids in a little while, and I'm not really looking forward to it. Get you one?
No, thanks. Can I ask you something else?
Father of the Year nods, amused. Ellie is very attractive. She also knows how to ask questions without being obnoxious.
Did my
A good
father,
trait to have, I gotta say.
did my father say anything to you the night he died?
Yeah, he said, tell Ellie I love her.
You're a bad liar. But thanks anyway.
Listen, I guess you have a right to know the truth. What he really said was, they're going to kill us all. I hate to tell you this, but your old man, he was out of his mind, all right? They found him wandering around in the fucking rain.
Chalice stopped. He has gone too far. Ellie fights back tears.
Could I show you something?
At Grimbridge's store, it's dark. Ellie lets herself and Chalice in, and the front blinds are drawn. Close signs hang.
Papa really loved this place, but business was getting bad. I suppose you shopped at the new mall like everybody else?
Chalice doesn't answer. He looks around the dusty store. It is a sort of hardware variety store, a bit of everything. Along one wall is a rack of sports equipment. Next to that, a row of automobile tires, a shelf of toys, tools, bicycles, clothing, everything you could want.
He was thinking about closing down. His last letter was all about it. That was 3 weeks ago. He wasn't out of his mind then.
She picks up an old-looking ledger.
The kids were keeping him going. They'd come in after school. He really loved them. He'd let him play with stuff right in the aisles like I used to when I was little. Candy, gum, bicycle, a basketball, lots of toys. His best customers. He kept a pretty good record for a crazy man, doctor.
Look, I'm sorry about the comment. Maybe I should go.
No, I did want to show you something.
She picks up an appointment book.
October 18th, Merchants Council meeting. October 19th, football game. October 20th, pick up more masks.
That's a drink.
Hey.
That's the last entry. I think he was referring to these.
He goes to a shelf where the silver shamrock masks are on display.
Those things. Yeah, I know them well.
They're very popular. According to Papa's ledger, he couldn't stock them fast enough. I did a little detective work. The town where they make these is not too far away. Santa Mira.
So what?
Well, if he went to the factory to pick up his order.
Well, why wouldn't he just have it sent?
Drink.
Yep. Drink.
This is because I had like 4 beers before we started.
No excuses, Quinn.
No, not excuses. Reasons.
Good job, Q.
Too close to Halloween?
Oh, that's a drink.
Come on.
Besides, any merchant will tell you if you go to the factory direct, you'll cut your overhead. If Papa went there, then maybe they know something that I need to know.
Maybe.
My father wasn't crazy. And the sheriff can talk all year about drug crazed lunatic running berserk, and I still don't buy it. I'm surprised anybody does.
And I will.
I'm not going back to LA until I find out what happened. Maybe they can tell me something in Santa Mira.
Want some company?
I guess he ain't picking up those kids. Chalice is at a payphone. In the background, we see Ellie's car, a rented Chevy. Double parked, Ellie's at the wheel.
Oh, look, Linda, I can't get out of it. I'm really sorry. Just a bunch of doctors talking about boring stuff. Linda, just, come on, take it easy. I'll call you Monday. I can't remember the name of the hotel. I gotta go, bye.
He hangs up the phone, grabs a 6-pack of beer perched on the phone booth, and hops into the car. It glides off into the California afternoon. The show window of an appliance store, rows and rows of TV sets, and on every one, the Silver Shamrock Masks are dancing, and the Silver Shamrock theme is playing. Glows in the dark, only 3 more days. Buy one, be in on the fun. Ellie's car rolls past on the freeway. She's driving, eating an apple, and reading a map at the same time. Chalice is sprawled across the seat, his head thrown back, sleeping soundly. The Chevy swings off the highway onto a secondary road, and the car passes a quaint-looking farmhouse and disappears around a curve. It turns on a lonely back road, and deep in the distance is the ocean. Ellie squints into the sunlight.
We're almost there.
Phone?
There it is.
Ellie slows the car to a stop, and they both look out. The sleepy little town of Cerina sits nestled in rolling fields. Beyond it, a road leads off to the ocean some miles away. Chalice stretches stiffly.
That crappy little place is where all those masks and commercials come from?
That's a drink.
Yep, that's right.
Oh my gosh.
He settles back for another quick cat nap, because all he did was go to sleep, I guess.
He's
Looking
so
out
sexy.
the windshield, a big truck round the curve ahead needs lots of room. It bears down on them, and Ellie hits the horn and steers the car onto the shoulder. The truck lumbers past, narrowly missing Ellie's car, sending it deep onto the shoulder of the road. Our two are thrown around a bit.
Jerk!
Chalice spins around watching the truck. The truck, featuring a Silver Shamrock logo on its side and back, rumbles around the curve and out of sight. The car starts onto the road again. Another truck rounds the curve and roars out of town, again taking all the road. Ellie coughs in the dust.
Welcome to Santa Mira.
Ellie rolls up her window and pulls onto the road ahead. The car rounds a curve and passes a large sign. Welcome to Santa Mira, home of Silver Shamrock. In the distance, the first time we see it, the red brick factory, smokestacks, a huge Silver Shamrock logo on the highest part of the building. An old but pleasant looking gas station sits next to a Heine. It sits next to a Heine.
buddy.
Heine hotel. On the hill behind it sits the Silver Shamrock factory. Rafferty, the very Irish-looking attendant, stands beneath a sign bearing the inscription, Rafferty's Deluxe. His eyes follow Ellie's car as it turns a distant corner. Ellie's car pulls into the town square and it rolls along a row of stores. Most are closed down. No one is on the street! It was underlined. Ellie and Chalice watch the storefront slide by. A deserted storefront, a uniform shop, a neat and tidy little bank, Shamrock Savings, a grocery, Shamrock store, and so on. Here and there at windows and in doorways, ruddy Irish faces appear. Take a long look, then turn away.
Irish Halloween masks?
In California, you never know.
That's our finishing drink.
Everyone drink their drink. Finish it up.
That's where we finish our drinks, whatever they are. So I hope you all pace that properly.
I did not.
I hate you. I didn't. I just refilled mine. That was
Perfect.
That was a mistake.
Ellie's car reaches the end of the row of buildings.
for
It
a
crosses
sour
a
beer,
railroad
crap.
track, turns in front of an old church, and swings back around 1 block over. The car pulls up and pauses. The Silver Shamrock factory looms overhead, bathed in the golden light of the autumn afternoon. Isn't that beautiful?
It looks a little spooky.
What do you expect? They make Halloween masks?
That's a double.
That's 2 drinks.
Damn it.
Come
on.
I'm not
Oh my
ready
God,
for
hold
this.
on.
We
I
need-
still got to refill.
Ah!
Debbie's just laughing at me right now.
This
I'm
is so-
sure it's fine.
I still have a lot of foam. Can I postpone my drink?
Yeah, I'm waiting for my foaming too.
Always
I'm
waiting for
not
your
ready
guys'
for
foam.
this. We need a plan.
How about this? We drive down that road, get some more beer, and go to the beach.
I'm serious.
All right, here's one. We go back to that gas station and see if they know anything. We could pose as buyers, maybe even rent a couple of rooms at that motel. Then we have someplace to talk without a whole town watching.
Good point. It's getting late anyway.
God, there's so much game.
Yeah. Help her get justice for her father, get laid. It's a tough one.
Win-win.
Hey, Ellie wheels the car down the street towards the gas station.
Her
After a
father
moment,
would
a
want it.
garage door in this
It's a plot
factory
point.
slides open. A long silver limousine purrs into the street. Its windows are tinted. No hint of who could be inside. Ellie's car pulls into the station. Rafferty comes over from her motel. Now is all smiles, all charm, all Irish.
Why is that underlined?
Why is it underlined?
That's so weird.
You heard it.
You fill her up
Please.
and another grand day it's been in Santa Maria. Where the sun smiles down and takes care of its own.
He smiles his Irish way to the pumps.
You've got to be kidding.
Yeah, welcome to Santa Mira, Dublin West.
Just passing through.
No, actually my husband owns a toy store and we've come to pick up some more masks.
It's a drink.
Oh.
Oops.
Oh, cute they are too.
Chalice gets enthusiastically into the act. He leans forward and slides his arm onto Ellie's shoulders.
You can say that again. And they are selling like hotcakes too.
Yeah, good.
Hey, partner, do you know whether there's a vacancy next door? My wife and I need a place to stay.
He smiles a husband kind of smile at Ellie, who tries not to crack up.
Now you come to the right place. I own the motel too. Well, rented really. Mr. Cochran owns it around here. But he doesn't try to tell me how to run my business, and I don't try to tell him how to run his town. Sorry, I got a drink now.
Yeah, you do.
Yes. You see, it works out. Now, here we are.
He holds out a room key dangling from a large green plastic tab. In the motel room, the door opens, flooding orange light into a small but tidy room. Rafferty comes in, switching on lamps and fluffing up pillows on the lone double bed.
Here it is. It's cozy and it's quiet. Ah, the shower's a good one.
Hear a blast of water, a clattering of pipes. Chalice leans in close to Ellie.
Keep them happy for me.
Drink.
That's a drink.
That's a drink.
Chalice leaves and hurries over to the motel office. Rafferty comes out of the bathroom.
What? No bags?
Well, the trunk is stuck.
Uh-huh.
My husband knows how to do it, but he went to register.
Oh, really?
Rafferty heads towards the trunk of the car.
Got the key.
Ellie comes over, stealing a glance towards the office. She pulls out a key ring with a dozen or so keys.
I think it's this one.
In the motel office, Chalice is leafing hurriedly through the guest register. He finds something of interest. His finger runs down the list of names and finds a signature. Harry S. Grimbridge, Sierra Madre, California, October 20th. Outside, the trunk opens and Rafferty smiles.
My goodness, it certainly isn't stuck anymore, is it?
There is one small overnight bag in the trunk and Rafferty grabs it.
I'm lost.
Drink, Rain.
Frank.
Page 30.
Page 30.
Like Packers, aren't you?
Oh, we've had a lot of practice.
Rafferty starts this out with the bag and he hears a car and turns.
Why? There's Mr. Cochran when you need him.
He waves and smiles enthusiastically. The long silver limousine glides by slowly. Seen from inside the limo, Ellie standing and Rafferty waving. She watches the car go by. Rafferty heads inside with Ellie's suitcase.
great man, Colonel Cochran. A true genius.
Again from behind the dark glass, this time tight on Ellie's face. She watches intently. The limousine tails away past a large Winnebago just pulling into the motel. The vehicle is done up in loud colors. Recreational gear is stacked on top, and a boy's bicycle is strapped to the grill. The motel, Chalice comes out of the office and along the walkway next to the rooms. The Winnebago blasts to a skidding stop just in front of Chalice. The bicycle flops onto the ground and at his feet with a crash. From somewhere inside the van comes a cry of distress.
Daddy!
Chalice sets the bike upright. A portly man steps from the driver's seat. Buddy Kupfer, 40-ish.
That didn't hurt it. Hey, sorry about that. Glad it didn't hit you, and a great big thank you for picking it up. You all right?
He thrusts out his hand. Buddy's not a bad sort of guy, just a little obnoxious. Chalice shakes his hand and starts to pass.
No problem.
Buddy Kupfer, San Diego. That's my wife, Betty.
Betty Kupfer, a perfect match for Buddy, wearing a bouffant hairdo, climbs out, followed by a miniature Buddy, Little Buddy.
And right there's Little Buddy.
It's like the Mickey Mouse Club featuring overweight suburbanites.
Nice to meet you.
Is my bike busted?
Little Buddy runs to his bike, hops on it, and rides off.
Don't you dare go in the street. Do you hear me?
I've got to go.
He backs away and is met by Rafferty.
Let's check you in now, sir.
I filled it out. There's $40 under the blotter. That should cover it, right?
Yes. Thank you, sir. Well, you have a pleasant stay now. Mr. Cooper, I presume your room is awaiting.
Okay, now this is a freebie, right? I mean, we could always stay in the RV if we need to.
Chalice reaches his door and lingers there. Lingers.
I assure you, sir, Mr. Cochran is taking care of everything.
Ah, well, that's great. Honey, it's a freebie.
What?
Chalice steps into his room and closes the door. At the motel room, Chalice leans against the door for a moment and Ellie is sitting neatly on the bed.
This place is a zoo.
I saw Cochran. His car, anyway.
You were right. Your old man stayed here on the 20th.
Bingo. Then we hit the factory first thing in the morning. I'm going to take a shower. Is it okay with you?
Sure.
What I mean is this bathroom is so tiny. I'd like to undress out here.
Yeah. Oh. I'll go get some air. Listen, if it would make you more comfortable, I could sleep in the car. It's softer than this floor anyway.
No.
She touches his cheek, then she plants a tiny kiss there.
I think we can do better than that.
Chalice thinks this too. He's not thinking about his children. The ice is broken. Watches fondly as she crosses towards the bathroom, unbuttoning her blouse. He goes out. Santa Mira. Chalice enters the street at one end, walking toward the
can we do the real line? That's the best line in the movie.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
You can.
Oh, I'm so lost in the best way. What?
It's where do you want to sleep, Mr. Chalice?
Yeah.
That's a very dumb question, Miss Gimbridge. So much better. I'm glad it changed. This is terrible. This clearly,
I think they gave Tom Atkins a pass at the script.
Yeah. Atkins clearly gave that right to himself, and the movie's the better for it. So let's toast Tom Atkins.
Tom Atkins.
Cheers to Atkins.
Yeah. I love that she identified her father's mutilated body 12 hours earlier.
Yes.
Let's fuck.
At Santa Mira, Chalice enters the street at one end, walking towards the only storefront which is lit up. A neon sign advertising liquor, of course. Another one, beer. The bathroom door is open to the motel room. Ellie's in the shower through ripple glass. She finishes her shower and steps out, grabbing a towel, freezing with this scant cover. She runs to the bed, grabs the bedspread, and wraps it around her, shivering. Okay. The last hint of daylight leaves the sky. Mercury vapor lights flicker on here and there. Chalice comes out of the liquor store carrying a bottle and a paper sack like a real classy bastard. He heads back the way he came. Chalice heads down the alley in back of the motel, and suddenly a figure looms up out of the darkness beside him. He jumps back startled. He drops the bottle, but it doesn't break.
Oh, mister. Didn't mean to scare you. Just saw that bottle of urine and thought it looked pretty heavy.
Chalice picks up the bottle and says nothing.
I ain't got no diseases, and I wager I keep myself as clean as you do. How about a drink?
Chalice hands over the bottle. Starker leans into it, taking a good long pull. His face catches the light. It is an old face somehow, even though the man couldn't be more than 40. Starker wears a brimmed hat and a ragged sports jacket. He is the local bum.
God damn, thank you.
He hands the bottle back and starts to move on.
Hey, you know anything about this big wheel named Cochrane?
If I know anything, why, he made Santa Mira what it is today. A dried up little pile of nothing. Pretty nice spot, good people, not anymore. He bought them all, every one of them except one. I didn't have anything to sell. I tried to get a job in this place. Let me tell you something. He brought in every damn one of those factory people from the outside. You think he'd hire me, local boy? No way. Turn me down flat. So I'll make my money the hard way. You don't have $1 you could spare, do you?
Chalice searches his pocket, finds $1, and Starker takes it and borrows that bottle again.
God damn, thank you. I can tell you, misters, watch out. TV cameras yet? He's watching you, friend, I guarantee you that. Hey, Cochrane, fuck you.
Jesus, take it easy.
Starker staggers a step or two.
Don't matter to me, he's probably listening. And if he is, I just got one thing to say. This is last Halloween for that lousy factory of his. They're pulling some wild shit in there. I've heard rumors. This year, gonna get me about 1.5 cases of Molotov cocktails. Mr. Burn that sumbitch right down. Last Halloween for them.
That's two
That's 2
Halloweens
drinks.
in there. Chalice watches the man wander off down the alley, and he moves off the other way.
My liver.
At the motel room, Chalice knocks and comes in. The light is low, romantic. Ellie is brushing her hair by the heater, still draped in the bedspread. A small portable radio is playing. Chalice has found some ice outside, and he sets everything down, makes himself a drink while he watches Ellie. She brushes her hair and watches him back. At the railroad trestle, Starker comes along whistling. The trestle is 30 feet high. Its dark timbers cut zigzag patterns in the night sky. He's walking, whistling. He stumbles, but walks on. Suddenly, a harsh, bright light bathes his face.
Huh?
2 black-gloved hands appear from behind and clamp Starker's arms to his side. Whap! Whap! A powerful flashlight is shoved up close to Starker's face. It is held by a black-gloved hand, scrutinizing.
Oh, hey, fellas. I was just kidding. You know that, don't you? Kidding.
Wham! He is forced suddenly to his knees by the man in back. The man in front drops the flashlight into the weeds. These men seen dimly are wearing neat gray suits like the other assassin. Ellie reclines languidly into frame at the motel, letting the bedspread fall away. Chalice follows, head and hand on her stomach, kissing. The radio music is perfect. Perfect. A close-up of Starker. The black gloves reach in and grab him firmly around each ear. The hands begin to tug. Starker's neck begins to stretch. Starker tries to scream. Back at the motel, Ellie and Chalice are making love. Back at the railroad trestle, backlit by the flashlight, the 3 figures are nothing more than abstract silhouettes as the man in front gives a sudden heave and pulls Starker's head clean the fuck off.
Oh, okay.
Back at the
Who head's
hotel,
getting off?
dark and quiet now, Chalice and Ellie lying quietly in each other's arms as radio plays softly. Then the commercial comes on. 2 more days till Halloween.
Halloween.
It's too absurd. Laughing in disbelief, Chalice snakes out his hand and shuts it off.
It's late.
It's early, you mean. Get some sleep.
Hey,
Yeah?
I wouldn't have tried all this if you hadn't come along. Thanks.
They kiss and settle in for sleep.
Talk about sex.
I would have never tried you if you hadn't come along.
Whoa.
The next morning at the motel, Chalice is sprawled across the bed, his arms dangling to the floor. Ellie wakes up frowning. She looks at her watch on the night table.
Damn. Calling Dr. Chalice. Calling Dr. Chalice. It's already past noon.
The doctor isn't in right now.
Oh no.
He opens one eye and wraps his free arm around her. She smiles and rolls against him. At the factory loading dock, it's 3:30 on the silver shamrock clock. Ellie's car pulls up and our 2 get out, still looking sleepy. They walk up to a door marked office and go inside. They go down a short hallway and into a neutral office. On the far wall is a large silver shamrock logo, and above it hangs a photo portrait of a silver-haired, fatherly-looking gentleman. A broad counter divides the receiving area from the office area where a handful of office workers go about their business. A woman is at the counter, heatedly talking to the head secretary. Marge Gutman is in her 30s, a little brassy, a wide, quick smile. She ain't smiling right now, though.
Well, I just don't see any excuse for it. I called my order in a day before yesterday. They said it would be ready.
Madam, please calm down.
I've got a business to run. If you think I'm going to stay here tonight just because somebody shuffled the wrong papers, then you got another thing coming, sister.
Sure you. We're doing everything we can.
We'll try to do it just a little bit faster, all right?
The secretary turns to Ellie and Chalice. A rosy smile pops on her face. Marge scowls and lights up a cigarette, puffing at it furiously.
May I help you?
Yes. My father put in an order last week. Something's gone wrong. We never received it.
What firm do you represent?
Grimbridges, Sierra Madre.
Just a moment.
The secretary moves off toward a blank of file cabinets.
Good luck. Their masks may be fabulous, but they're not too swift up here.
That's a drink.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Masks.
The mask. Yeah.
I'm going to have to stay here tonight. I just know it. In that cruddy motel, it's the only place within 50 miles.
The secretary returns with a yellow form.
There must be some mistake here, dear. Our records show that Mr. Grimbridge himself, he picked up that order on the list. Here's his signature.
Well, thank you. Do you remember the transaction?
As a matter of fact, I do. He was in a hurry like everyone else at this time of year. I believe Red helped him load his car.
Red?
Yes. Would you like to speak with him?
She hits a button on the counter. Immediately, a red-headed man comes through a door and back.
Red, these people lost an order. Did you load this one?
Sure did. Last week. Man in an old green station wagon.
That's right. Did he say where he was going?
No, ma'am. He headed out to the north, though. I remember that.
Thank you.
She turns
That was on
away
Morgan
from
Freeman,
his
by the way.
impression of
It's
Judd
very
from
Morgan
Pet
Freeman.
Cemetery.
Are you going to make another order, ma'am?
No. Let's go.
There's a commotion in the hallway. Buddy, Betty, and little Buddy Cupfer burst in. They are dressed in their Sunday best, and Buddy wears a smile as big as Texas.
Well, how you doing? Buddy Cupfer and family. Here to see Mr. Cochran?
Yes, Mr. Comfort. Welcome. I'll tell Mr. Cochran that you're here.
Tell him I'm here too, lady. Tell him I'd like some service.
The secretary shuffles off.
When do we get to see him making the masks?
Oh my goodness, that's a drink. That's a drink.
Oh, masks.
Oh, shit.
Masks.
Still real soon, little buddy, and still real soon.
I'm hungry.
I've had enough. Let's get out of here.
Wait a minute.
There is a stir at the back of the office. The typewriters fall silent. A door opens and in walks Conal Cochran, an incredibly kind-looking gentleman in a blue suit, white shirt, and red tie. He is followed closely by two young Irishmen with rather blank faces, also in suits, these of gray. The effect is of legitimate, wealthy corporate power, but the gray suits are familiar. Last night, Starker's Killers! Cochran moves easily through the office and up to the front counter. His voice has an lilt to it.
Shit. Hold on.
Drink.
Good job, Tiff.
So this is Buddy Kupfer and his lovely family. My friends, Mr. Kupfer has sold more silver shamrock masks this year by far than anyone else on earth.
Hey, that's a drink if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's a top of a drink.
The office workers break into applause. Cochran reaches out for Buddy's hand, and Buddy is speechless, in total awe of Cochran, button-burstingly proud. Betty beams. Little Buddy picks his fucking nose.
Silver Shamrock likes to do a little something special for its champion salesman each year, and that's why you've been invited here. I hope you... Oh, shit. I hope your stay is a merry one. So I do.
Well, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Again, more applause. Ellie and Chalice exchange glances. It's a little bit strange. Cochran suddenly fastens his gaze on him and on Marge.
And to my other friends, Miss Gutman, correct?
He goes to Marge, kisses her hand, and she is instantly won over. He turns to Ellie and Chalice.
And Mr. and Mrs.
Smith.
Smith, of course. My apologies for the confusion and the delays. I know you understand. This is the season, isn't it? But since you've lost time and probably money through no fault of your own, I want you to know that you may take delivery of your full orders absolutely free of charge. That means it's on me.
Marge gasps. The office workers applaud yet again.
Is he incredible or what? I mean, come on.
And now, Mr. Kupfer, a guided tour for you and your family. And of course, our other friends. With your permission.
Oh, of course. I by all means.
Shall we?
One of the gray suits holds open the door on the counter. One by one, the procession files through the office, past the beaming workers and through the door and back. Ellie and Chalice fall in and follow. The mask works. Looking down a long, spacious room, there are dozens of male and female mask workers standing at long tables, making the 3 silver shamrock masks, witch, skull, and jack-o'-lantern. The place is strangely quiet, just the dull presence of a large room. Its light is constant, day or night. Our group enters through a door at one end. Little Buddy is first, and he runs ahead. Cochran takes the lead, talking easily, enjoying himself.
The latex is heated and poured, then allowed to cool in the mold. Excess poured off, then it's just a lot of details, painting and packaging.
Montage! The process
There's a lot of
mask
masks
making.
in that last description, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Drink on that last
As
one.
an
then.
alcoholic.
Oh, yeah. Like a couple drinks?
There's probably a few.
During the montage, we see mask making, heating, pouring, cooling, trimming, painting. Very low light at Cochran's private headquarters now. A series of display cases, a wall full of monster masks, and a door marked private. Little Buddy darts through ahead of the others, and he gives everything a quick look, then moves on ahead, playing with his computer game. The others enter and spread out as if at a museum. Here, a cluster of wonderful-looking mechanical toys, a display case full of gag novelties, and Buddy and Chalice find themselves grouped together.
Oh, wow. This is it. This is really it. Hall of Fame time.
What's famous?
You really don't know? Connell Cochran? The all-time genius of practical jokes. He invented sticky toilet paper.
Oh.
You must know the deaf dwarf gag, the soft chainsaw, all his.
Gee, I didn't know.
Boy, he manufactured the best boomer cushion in the business. It made a great sound. Really loud and convincing. I tell you what, the man has always paid attention to detail. Mechanical toys, masks.
As a drink.
Look at that paint job. Boy, I'm glad I'm going to get a chance to drink in the middle of this.
There you go. There you go.
But I'm still glad Little Buddy's getting a chance to see these. Little Buddy, be sure and look at this stuff. It's educational. It's a real shame Mr. Cochran doesn't make this stuff anymore. But it wasn't paying off. Took a lot of guts for him to cut his losses and find something with some profit in it. Mm-hmm.
Masks.
Drink.
What?
You bet. Big Halloween 3. Restricted.
As a drink. Oh, Lord, that's a drink.
Restricted choices, lower the price, go for quality, simplify, saturation advertising. Our ad is on every major radio and TV station in the country. It's incredible.
Yeah, it is.
You know why? By Halloween night, okay.
Holy mackerel, that's a drink.
Ooh, so many drinks.
There'll be 50 million silver shamrock
Drink.
Oh, Lord, a drink.
Oh, not again. Good, googly moogly. That's that's unprecedented. Great to be on a winning team, isn't it?
Yeah.
They follow the others to another doorway. Chalice and Buddy come around a corner into a spacious receiving room and stop and look. The beaming office workers have gathered here along with Cochran, Marge, and the others. A large cake and a punch bowl sit waiting. Decorations hung from the ceiling. Cochran holds a large ceremonial plaque out to Buddy.
Buddy Kupfer, it is my pleasure to present you with this year's Silver Shamrock Halloween Sales Award.
That's what. That's a drink.
Congratulations.
It's a drink.
This
He
one
steps
page
forward
has got me
speechless.
drunk.
The office workers applaud. Betty beams, and little buddy picks his fucking nose. Ellie backs towards the display room. In the display room, Ellie comes in and the room is empty. She moves quickly over to a door marked private and opens it. A gray suit is standing there looking at her.
Whoops, my mistake.
She closes the door again. Another dark suit separates himself from the shadows at the under end of the room.
Have a nice day.
He heads back to the main room. There, the office workers are making merry, and Buddy is shaking Cochran's hand. Betty finishes in her purse and comes up with a camera. She hands it to a gray suit, who obligingly snaps a picture.
Oh, and one more thing. A small token of my appreciation.
He hands the envelope to Buddy, and there is a game show sort of atmosphere prevalent as Buddy opens the envelope and gasps at what he sees. A check!
$5,000!
Oh my God.
Betty throws her arms around Cochran's neck. More applause from the office workers. Marge joins in. Chalice and Ellie stand awkwardly to one side, staring at the spectacle, trading mystified glances. Boxing area. It is a spacious area where a few masked workers stand, packing the masks in a cardboard box. One group enters and passes through.
No,
we don't
doesn't
drink
count.
on. We
Sorry.
don't drink on Billy's.
Sorry, y'all. Does not count.
Cochran
You
is
can
the
if you
center of
want.
the cup.
Well, I was just having one for fun.
Come on, Kenzo, let's
Fine.
Have him for fun. Little Buddy rides Cochran piggyback. Buddy and Betty walk arm in arm, smiling beautiful.
You gotta drink on that one, though, Billy. Come on, baby.
Drink for you.
I want a mask. Can I have a mask?
Just what I had in mind for you, my young friend.
I want that one.
No, 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 no. These masks haven't been through final.
That's two drinks.
Tiffany.
One group, one solo.
These masks haven't been through final processing. This way.
What's the final processing?
Factory yard. There is a maze of activity here. Yardmen and drivers scurry about, moving case after case of mass onto pallets, onto trucks, onto conveyors, onto forklifts. Loaded trucks pull out of the yard, bound for the outside world. Cochran and the others come out onto the platform of the loading dock, and they are surrounded by activity. A truck is loaded and pulls away. Boxes are stacked everywhere. Cochran nods at one of the gray suits, who walks over to a stack of boxes outside a set of double doors marked "No Admittance." There is something about the door, the entranceway, that seems sinister, forbidding. The gray suit picks up one of the boxes and tears it open, and Cochran, Little Buddy, and Buddy come over. The gray suit hands a jack-o'-lantern mask to Cochran, and Buddy points at the double doors.
This final processing, Mr. Cochran. What is it?
Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that. Quality inspection, the seal of approval.
He shows Buddy the round silver shamrock seal on the mask, and then Cochran turns to Little Buddy. In sharp foreground, there's the back of the mask as Cochran pulls it onto the boy's head. The seal is clearly visible now and is placed at the base of his neck flap. Cochran surveys Little Buddy with delight. The old man claps his hands like a child, not creepy at all. Little Buddy runs around scaring people, and Buddy points at the door again.
So, can we take a look?
Oh, I'm sorry. Part of the inspection process involved highly volatile chemicals. I'd hate to put anyone in danger.
Oh, just like Justin Turner. I understand.
I do hope you and your family will join me tomorrow for breakfast. We'd love your opinion on some of our sales material.
My opinion?
Mhm.
Well, sure. Yeah, anytime. You betcha.
Chalice is off to himself, looking the operation over. Ellie and Marge have paired off to one side, watching in the distance as Cochran makes some point to the others.
What a character. Did you know he's supposedly one of the richest men in the country? And he got there selling cheap gags and Halloween masks. Oh, double drink.
Two. It's two drinks.
Masks.
Oh, no.
There's hope for me. I also heard that he lives here, right in the factory.
How strange. What?
Something catches Ellie's eye. A forklift is driving into a dark garage, and as the door is sliding shut, we see just a glimpse of a green station wagon.
That was my father's.
Huh?
My God.
She starts running toward the garage. Cochran sees her first. He tilts his eyebrows, and the gray suits run after her. Chalice, the others see her running. Confusion. Ellie is nearly there when the gray suits catch up with her, and they grab her firmly but politely.
The car, damn it. The car is...
She stops. Her eyes... Ah!
You better drink, Billy.
Cochrane eyes her with new interest. She stops fighting. Behind her, workmen busily themselves locking the garage. One of the gray suits points apologetically to a large sign above the garage door. Strictly no admittance. Ellie composes herself and walks away from the garage back to Chalice. The sun drops into the distant ocean, bathing the motel roof in brilliant orange for a moment and then darkness. And at that motel room, Chalice is pacing. Ellie is perched on the bed, visibly upset.
I saw it. I know I saw it.
Well, then I think it's time for the Marines.
I'm scared. I think we should leave.
All right, I've got no objection to that. Let me go call the sheriff back home first. He could put us on the right track. This place falls under somebody's jurisdiction.
Hurry.
Chalice goes out the door and Ellie follows. And since we're at the halfway point, now's a good time to remind folks at home that if you haven't made a donation to Everytown for gun safety, you can do that right now, as a matter of fact. You can go to our website at scriptsgonewild.com. You can click on the donate tab. It'll take you directly to their website where you can make a donation, $1, $10, $1,000, whatever you feel comfortable donating. And if you snap a screenshot, send it to us, you can win that Halloween 3 prize pack. So make a donation. I'm going to try to hypnotize you all. Make a donation.
Donation.
You guys do it much better than me.
Donation.
On the count of 3, everybody say it.
Halloween.
On the count of 3, everybody say it dead-eyed into the screen. 1, 2, 3.
Donation.
I think that worked really well. Back to the action. Motel.
Everybody logged off.
That's right.
Yeah, did we just, oh, bummer. We broke it.
Motel night. Chalice hurries to the office and Ellie lingers near her car.
Mrs. Smith? Mrs. Smith?
Miss Ellie remembers her alias and spins around. Miss Ellie. Okay.
All right, Beverly Hillbilly.
Remembers her alias and spins around. Marge is standing in the doorway of another room and Ellie comes over.
I just had to talk to somebody. May I show you something?
She leads Ellie inside. At Marge's room, like the other motel room, only a different color, Marge holds up a disfigured witch mask.
I sat this on the radiator. Dumb thing to do. It ruined the mask, but then this little logo thing, the silver shamrock trademark, it came off in my hand. And there's this something very strange about it.
She holds it under the desk light and the only light source in the room. The front of the seal. Then Marge's hands turn it over. On the back, planted dead center, is a microchip, visibly complex and colorful.
You know anything about electronics?
No.
Well, all I know is this. This thing is incredibly complex and sophisticated. What I don't know is, what does it do? Like, what is it for? And why is there one on each and every Halloween mask?
Drink.
Nope, that's singular.
That is one
Halloween.
No, Halloween.
Oh,
Billy
right.
Ray Bruton.
I ain't that drunk.
Too bad I didn't say Halloween masks.
Billy,
Okay.
you should be ashamed of yourself.
I don't get it.
Perhaps my husband might know more about this. I'll go get him.
Great. And see if you can, round up some batteries. These are too weak.
She holds up her transistor radio. She has pulled the batteries out of it and stacked them on the desk.
Batteries?
Hell, I don't know what I'm doing. Thought maybe I could get it to play or light up or whatever it's supposed to do.
Marge, be careful.
Oh, believe me, it's probably some stupid mix-up. I told you before, at the lower levels of that organization, they're just out to lunch.
I'll be right back.
Ellie hurries out and Marge turns to the trade seals.
Weird,
Chalice is on the
fast
telephone.
friendship.
That's right.
Wow, I can't believe they cut the riveting battery discussion from the movie. I mean, the movie would never had a problem without Michael Myers if they just had this battery conversation.
Chalice is on the telephone grimacing.
We'll try again. Thank you.
Any luck?
Not so far. Wait a minute. Hello, Sheriff. Dr. John Chalice. Yes, we've got something here.
In Marge's room, she puts on the reading glasses, studies the trade seals, and picks up the battery. Suddenly pulls a hairpin from her hair. She begins to bend and twist it against the batteries.
All right, we'll do that. Thanks. After we get to Laytonville. Right. Anything else?
Marge bites her lip in fierce concentration. Hairpins, battery terminals, the trade seal slips from her fingers.
Damn.
She tries again, blinking fiercely to clear her vision. Marge's hand pushed the battery-charged hairpin against the trade seal, and there's a tiny sound and a tiny spark. A small, brilliant light emanates from the trade seal. Suddenly, a blinding streak sears from the seal directly into Marge's forehead. Chalice hangs up the phone.
Odd.
What?
He said there was a mix-up of some kind. The body of that man who burned up in the parking lot. See, they examined the wrong specimen, got it mixed up with, get this, the dashboard or something. All they had was a big pile of silicone.
Can this wait? What did he say about the police?
He said to get the hell out and phone them from Lakeville.
I think we should tell Marge. She's uncovered some kind of microchip on every mask. It's the strangest thing.
They go out. Marge's door is slightly ajar, and there is a strange sound coming from within, a faraway, barely human wail. Our two come across the parking lot on the run, Ellie in the lead, and she pauses at the door.
Marge?
They go inside. Sitting in the chair by the desk is a living horror that was formerly Marge. The desk lamp lies on the floor, overturned in the first convulsions. Her eyeballs are the color of blood. The pupils gone. Her mouth is wide open, distended forward and torn ragged by the blasting exhalation that has actually snapped off teeth and rendered lips into streaming filaments. And from this opening comes the steady, subhuman shriek. Tiny rivulets of blood seep from her pores. She is still wearing her glasses. The frame is melted from intense heat, and they droop on what is left of her nose. There is no intake of breath, just the dreadful exhaust roar of her tattered voice. On and on and on. For moments, Chalice and Ellie can only stare in horror. Then they have sex. Just kidding.
What?
Ellie's hands tie up to her own face, pulling at her skin.
Dear God. Dear God.
Chalice races across out of Marge's room. Along the darkened motel rooms, he stops at Buddy's door and knocks.
Buddy.
No answer. Chalice quickly moves on up to the office door. He bangs on it furiously and glances over his shoulder. Across the street, the factory, lights on. Rafferty opens the door and looks out at Chalice.
Get an ambulance.
What?
There's a woman down there. She's had some kind of seizure or something.
Seizure?
She's been, for God's sakes, man.
Bad is she?
Just get help.
There's no hospital.
What? There must be.
Only the clinic, that's all. Over in the White Springs, about 15 miles. That's all. There it is.
Call them.
We decided tonight we were going to read both Halloween 3 and Leprechaun. In Marge's room, Ellie stands near Marge, staring at her. The fierce, hissing wail has died away as if Marge's condition has gone into a secondary phase. Her body is still racked with a steady shuddering, but it is less violent. Faint, formless croaks come from her throat. Ellie staring. Something moves at Marge's mouth. Two small, arachnid-like legs push their way out through Marge's lips. Ellie is speechless, horrified. A small glistening spider crawls out of Marge's mouth. She turns and bolts for the door. Ellie slams directly into Chalice outside the door.
John, look at her mouth.
Rafferty ambles up and looks at the door. Marge sits motionless now, looking dead. The spider is gone from her ruined lips. Rafferty peers in at Marge and reacts, but not quite as sharply as we might expect.
Whatever did it? Burns? It must have been burns.
Have you ever seen anything like that before?
Well, a couple from the factory. I mean, they said it was a chemical poisoning. I just
No. This thing came out of her mouth.
Not to worry. They're already coming.
Chalice and Ellie turn. Several cars emerge from the factory and they move quickly towards the motel.
They'll take care of her. Better than bouncing her all over the countryside like a ball.
Are you going to call that ambulance?
I agree.
I'm telling you, she'll be in better hands.
All right, I'll do it.
Yeah, you know best.
Goes in office.
Get your things quick.
Chalice and Ellie move off, leaving Rafferty by Marge's door.
And you also drink.
This is like the completely different movie at this point. I don't know what it is. This is great.
I have no idea what I'm going to see when I actually see the movie. Now, guys.
Yeah,
This is great.
It's so weird.
I'm so transfixed by this.
I'm gonna finally read this to see which version they got. 'cause-
Definitely the inspiration for arachnophobia.
If you like Rafferty, if you dig Rafferty, prepare to be disappointed in his role in the movie.
Yeah, Rafferty's gone.
He's like 2 lines in the movie.
Yeah, Marge has like no part either.
Yeah, Marge never went along with them on the tour.
Oh, God,
this is
gonna be so
This is a very
exciting to see this
alternate version. I'm digging it.
So
I'm
pivotal.
digging this version.
I'm only caring about Marge. Up to
I hope this is like the script we read when we did Roadhouse, where in the actual script of Roadhouse, Ben Gazzara castrates a man.
Wow.
That they decided to cut out, I guess.
They don't show that on
This would be like if Roadhouse wasn't at a bar.
We tear off throats, not balls in that movie.
I like we're on
Motel office.
Highway.
Chalice strides into the dark room, up to the phone on the counter. A TV set is on in the darkness, and a Silver Shamrock commercial is on that goes a little something like this.
2 more
Two
days.
more days till Halloween.
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 2 more days
Two more days till
Halloween.
Halloween. Eyes on the TV.
Your eyes on
That
the
again? Crap.
Alice picks up the phone and dials.
All right.
He picks up the phone and dials, but I doubt he calls his family. Behind him in the background, we see the cars from the factory pull into the parking lot.
Operator, this is an emergency.
Says the doctor.
I'm
By the way, that was a
sorry.
drink on Halloween's.
This call has dialed. Please hang up and dial again. This is a recording.
Chalice punches the cradle, dials again. The lights from the factory car swish.
I'm sorry, but we cannot complete your call.
Chalice slams down the phone. In the darkness of the room, a jack-o'-lantern mask lies on a chair, and Chalice's hand reaches in and grabs it. Chalice steps out of the office, walks quickly down towards Marge's room. Several cars have pulled in. Gray suits and technicians get out and converge around it. Rafferty points inside the room. Ellie is throwing things into her suitcase. She's crying, terrified.
Get it, all right? Just bring the car keys.
Chalice moves from his room down to Marge's. Several technicians carry Marge out of the room on a stretcher, and they move her quickly into a dark van. The van pulls away from the motel just as the long Cadillac silently pulls in. Cochran gets out. One of the gray suit comes over.
We had a misfire.
Cochran nods to him, then moves to Chalice.
Evening, Mr. Smith. I'm sure everything will be fine. Sorry for any alarm you may have.
What is this?
Chalice holds up the jack-o'-lantern mask, points to the silver shamrock seal on the back.
The seal of approval. Weren't you listening today?
It's full of microelectronics, and somehow it kills, doesn't it?
Mr. Smith.
Oh, no, Mr. Smith, me. It blew up in Marge's face, went off, did whatever it does. But you've seen what it could do before, haven't you?
I don't know. He sounds like right now it's like some guy in a Boston bar drunk.
Yeah. Well,
it sounds whatever it does.
It sounds like a guy in a Staten Island bar drunk, because that's pretty much what's going on right now.
100%.
Hell yeah. Chalice tosses the mask at Cochran. It slaps against his leg and drops to the ground, and Cochran smiles a benevolent, innocent smile.
Mr. Smith, you've been under some strain. I can see that. Now, if you come with me to the factory, I'll show you the entire process. I think you'll see.
You're putting these things in the hands of children? Why?
I'll show you.
No, thanks. Not until I get a few people I know to come with me.
Have it your own way.
This is cool.
And it looks as though you will.
And the name is Chalice.
That they should have left in.
Yeah, they should have.
Oh, I quite liked Smith. What a pity.
Cochran walks back to the Cadillac and gets in. The gray suits and techs are moving to the cars, and Rafferty slips away. The cars begin to pull out. 2 cars lag behind. Chalice steps in the room, and Ellie is gone. The room is empty. The suitcase is still on the bed.
Ellie?
Silence. Chalice moves to the bathroom and peers inside. Empty!
Ellie!
We can just make out Ellie in one of the cars that glides back into the factory. She is jammed in the back with 2 factory men. Chalice rushes out the door and stops. Lined up outside the room are 6 gray suits, gaunt, Irish faces, all those Irish, staring at Chalice. One gray suit, the assassin we'll call him, stands forward of the other man. He is towering, granite face. His eyes are cold, still gray. Chalice backs inside and quickly shuts the door, locking it, and turns and races into the bathroom. Chalice slams the door and moves for the small window above the bathtub. The front door blasts in off its hinges and the gray suits rush in. Chalice squeezes out of the small bathroom window and plops down to the ground. He gets up immediately and begins to run along the dark, muddy alley behind the motel around the back of the gas station. Chalice races along. Factory cars zip along the street towards the motel. Down another alley. Running with all of his might, ahead at the end of the alley, several factory cars pull up, blocking off Chalice's escape, and Chalice dashes out of the alley and runs along the main street. The TV camera moves slowly on a servo, following Chalice. The infrared images from the TV camera, Chalice runs down the street into darkness. Ellie is being led along by several factory men. Factory cars blast around the corner searching for Chalice, and several Santa Mira residents stand in front of their stores, watching the cars roar by, staring after them, emotionless. Linda Chalice is fast asleep in the Chalice house. The phone rings on the table beside her, and she starts confusedly in the double bed now she occupies alone.
Yes? John, what do you want? Is this some kind of... You're drunk. I know you, John. You've been drinking all night, and you... The Halloween masks?
Double drink.
The ones I bought?
That's a drink.
Halloween masks?
Is that a double?
That's another drink. Can't keep up.
Mommy
Only
gives
job
them
to keep
masks. drink,
Another one.
Jesus.
and Daddy tries to take them away. It's the same old crap. You're jealous because you know the children love me more than they love you.
Oh.
You just go to hell.
Straight up.
She slams the phone down. Then, so as not to be disturbed again, she takes it off the hook. She looks up. Willie, wearing his skull mask as well as his pajamas, has come into the doorway.
Who was that?
Nobody, sweetheart.
The phone booth. Chalice frantically
Yeah.
dials again, a busy signal. He hangs up, reaches in his pocket for more change, plunks it in, and dials another number. Car headlights flash across the phone booth as he turns. Two factory cars move ominously up the road. Chalice quickly dunks out of the phone booth and runs into the darkness of the houses along the road, and the factory cars screech to a stop at the phone booth. Factory men get out and stare up the street. Chalice is gone into the night. The factory looms in the background. We boom down to reveal Chalice hiding directly underneath the TV camera out of sight of the lens, and the TV camera pans away from him. Chalice runs quickly into the shadows of the factory wall, and the infrared eye has not seen him. His face emerges from the shadows for a moment. In the background, more factory cars race around the streets. Chalice hoists himself over the chain link fence. He drops into the shadow just as the factory car streaks by. He hurries along the factory wall. Chalice slips from the shadow and along the corridor, peeks from a doorway. The mask works. He fades back into the shadows. Chalice enters stealthily, a high angle. Chalice enters silently, surveys the room, and goes back the way he came. He now turns to the door marked private, the one tried by Ellie earlier. He opens it a crack. In Cochran's quarters, Cochran looks around. The room is a spacious one with a huge desk and chair. Beyond this is a large workbench with tools and equipment of all kinds. We are looking at the workbench of an inventor. Toys, model trains, mechanical parts, dark and spooky, eccentric. Chalice moves through the place carefully towards a pool of light around the corner to see another desk, an antique desk lamp. Seated at the desk is an old woman, huddled over a game of solitaire. Her gloved hands flip the cards methodically. Chalice moves up behind the old woman.
Where's the girl? Where is she?
In a burst of anger, Chalice grabs at her to pull her around and make her listen, and her arms come off in his hand. The silk of her blouse tears. The whole shoulder joint is exposed. A clockwork joint clicks and ticks inside. Chalice stares in horror at the arm he is holding. The fingers are still moving, still trying to grip cards and aren't there. Now the whole body of the old woman tips sideways. It sways toward him. He grabs it. The other hand is still holding the deck of cards. She slips from the chair. Chalice struggles to get her back into it. Now her head droops at an angle no one should be at. Then the old woman slides to the floor. Now with a click, the mechanism ceases to function. The old woman is completely still, and Chalice stares in amazement. The cold, emotionless face of the factory assassin stares into his. Chalice slams a fist into the assassin's midsection. Absolutely no reaction. Then suddenly Chalice is hurled across the room. The factory assassin moves for him. Chalice springs from the floor and tackles the assassin, and they go careening around the room. Whack! The assassin's hand snaps on Chalice's face. Fingers spread, pressing into Chalice's eyes. Chalice grabs the hand viced on his face, but can't pull it off. The fingers close tighter. Chalice raises his hand and plunges it downward into the assassin's stomach, and Chalice's hand actually goes in through the shirt into the flesh. Milky silicone sprays out of the stomach. Chalice rips his hand out. In his fist is a mass of microelectronic wires, chips all covered with the milky silicone. Chalice pulls himself out of the assassin's grip, and he rolls away across the floor. The assassin remains motionless, silicone pouring out of his mouth. Chalice, out of breath, stares for a beat, then suddenly hands grab him. Factory guards. Cochran steps into the office. He looks like a host, hurt by the unforgivable behavior of a guest.
Wow.
Jeez, tour de force.
Let's all drink for Billy.
Yeah, sure. What the hell?
That seems right. That was
Billy, the chat is saying that you defy the
Auctioneer
laws of gravity. You are speaking faster as you drink more, which is very important.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Hey, Micro Machines, if you're listening, hire me.
I can't believe they have all these scenes, these ridiculous scenes.
This is like a completely different thing.
It's a whole different thing.
Did you guys see? We're already at scene 190. Have you ever done a movie with 190?
No, that's insane.
And also, where the fuck is Ellie? Like, she's been missing for like 20 pages.
She was kidnapped.
The abuse of the
Yeah, she's
adjective not-
sleeping.
This is when she's becoming a robot. Spoiler.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Also, if anyone's impressed by Billy now, wait till you get to like the very back bit of the script.
And also, if you're really
quite the
impressed
monologue
with
coming.
Billy, donate.
Donate.
Yeah, that's a good
donate,
call.
Donate.
This is where we do the weird stare into the screen and say
getting a
donate, but
cameo.
scare
On the
everyone
count
away.
of 3, everybody say donate. 1, 2, 3.
Donate.
Donate.
Donut.
Clumsy. That was a rare piece. German.
We have a cameo.
Donut.
Oh, hi
What?
there.
Don't get it.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, hi.
Hello, Will.
Hi, Will.
There's
Oh,
some
we have a
scary
child.
stuff
Hi,
happening.
Will.
buddy.
Happy Halloween. What's your costume?
No? Say hi.
What's his
Has he-
costume?
Has he been through final processing?
I'm trying to get him to say Halloween mask.
Will, do you want to take over for Daddy?
Do you remember-
Kenzo, let's keep it on the track. Come on.
All right. Clumsy. That was a rare piece. German. Made in Munich, 1685. I must try to get a replacement. My European agent, perhaps. Mr. Chalice, it's been such a long night for all of us.
Cochran goes to his desk, sets down the head, and picks up a black ornamented box, gets himself a cigar. He strokes the lid of the box.
Whoa.
Bog oak. From the bogs of Ireland. Do you smoke?
Where's Ellie?
Mrs. Smith? Why, I believe she's resting now.
Chalice moves as to get up. A gray suit hand slams him back into place.
It didn't take you very long to get here, Mr. Chalice. It will be morning soon. Halloween morning.
Gadzooks! That's a drink.
It's going to be a busy day for me, and for you too. You'll recall I promised to show you everything. I always keep my promises, sir. Indeed I do.
Cochran smiles his warm, fatherly smile, and in the factory yard, the sun is coming up. The factory yard looks blue and cold in the morning glow. All work has stopped. Chalice is escorted outside by 2 gray suits, their hands clapped firmly on his arms, and Cochran follows. They cross the platform to the door marked no admittance. Cochran takes a key from his pocket and unlocks the door, and they go inside. Old and rickety, like the exterior of the factory, Cochran leads his troop inside. We follow through a dark hallway and across an anteroom. Along the wall, standing stiffly, are the yardmen, frozen, immobile, robots!
Would be nice to work them around the clock, but the night air is bad for them.
Cool.
Machines, Mr. Chalice, everyone, except for you and me, of course.
Chalice glances at the 2 gray suits holding his arms and no reaction from them, blank and motionless.
But you figured that out last night, didn't you?
He moves down the steps and the gray suits lead Chalice along behind him. A jarring change in the high-tech elevator. Polished metal, modern lighting. Cochran leads the others inside and the door slides shut. One of the dark suits presses a button.
Going down.
Convincing, aren't they? Loyal and obedient.
And then Johnny Fives rolls around the corner and things get out of hand. One of the dark suit holds out a pile of white bones. It now becomes short circuit. He seats himself and puts them on over his shoes and hands. The other dark suit wrenches a similar set onto Chalice's hands and feet. They're the sort of thing found in dust-free laboratories or germ-free clinics.
The surprising thing is that the internal components are quite simple to produce, really. The external features took a lot longer to perfect, but in the end, it's just another form of mask making.
The elevator lurches to a halt. The lighting goes red. A blower from somewhere sends air wafting through.
Ellie's father. You sent one of these out to kill him? Then it destroyed itself.
I'm gonna.
Maybe I don't know. Have a drink.
I mean, I'll drink anyway. I don't give a
Sure.
shit.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
good to
I'm
me.
just for fun.
Where are we at?
You know what? I messed it up, guys. I
I'll
messed it
have
up.
one with you.
Yeah.
Well, gee, Quinn. Guess we got a drink, huh?
Then it destroyed itself. No evidence to lead anyone back here to Santa Mira.
Oh, very good, Mr. Chalice. He was a very inquisitive man. Downright nosy, you might say.
Dust-free area. No smoking.
A hiss and the doors slide open. Darkness. Chalice is pushed into the hands of two more gray suits and Cochran follows him out as the doors close. For a moment, all is dark. Then someone moves. Lights down below. Cochran, dimly outlined, moves to a railing.
Do you know anything about Halloween, Mr. Chalice?
It's one of those drinks that we have.
Tiffany.
A remarkable scene reveals itself. Spread beneath us is a huge room, mostly in darkness. Directly below, surrounded by high-intensity lights, is a long rectangular stone partially covered with protective material. Technicians are gathered. At the other end of the room is a tightly gathered array of monitor screens and consoles, and 7 more techs are busy there.
In a whisper. It was the start of their old Celtic lands. We would wait in our houses made of turf. The barriers were down, you see, between the real and the unreal. The dead might look in to sit by our bit of fire. Halloween. The last great one was 3,000 years ago.
Then we remember to drink.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, do it.
The hills ran with the blood of countless sacrifices.
Sacrifice.
One had to be ready. It was part of the craft.
Witchcraft.
You would call it that.
Talison's
To us,
his backup singer.
it was a way to control.
Ooh.
Drink that drink. You can just go ahead and drink.
Just drink. You would call it that. To us, it was a way of controlling our world. The only way. I'm talking, of course, about my ancestors. They never dreamed of this, the harnessing or storing of power. Even their alchemy couldn't do this.
Do what, Cochran? What is this place?
I'm surprised at you. You were doing so well. But there we were. Advanced technology is always magic to one who doesn't understand it. And a great magician never reveals its secrets. Come along, Mr. Chalice. There's still time for you to figure it out.
Cochran goes down a flight of stairs. They reach the floor and start across, passing close to the stone, the technicians, the lights, the video cameras. Montage! Technicians, the rock, tools, chipping away at it. Every chip being swept carefully into containers. A conveyor belt. Further along, a small assembly line. The silver shamrock trade seals. Hands assembling them. Delicate, microscopic work. Tweezers, calipers, containers of the stone chips. The mask. Cochran, Chalice, and the gray suits cross the floor.
From an ancient shrine, I imagine you've heard of it.
Stonehenge?
Devil of a time getting it here. But it had to be done.
He turns to a stack of nearby cases standing at the end of a long conveyor belt.
It has a power in it, you see. A force. Even the tiniest particles of it
He reaches out into one of the cases and pulls out a handful of the silver shamrock trade seals.
can be devastating.
He tosses the trade seals back into the box and picks up a skull mask nearby. He checks it, makes sure its trade seal is on securely. Cochran moves on towards the high-tech area. Cochran comes in and Chalice and the gray suits follow. Cochran moves over to a bank of video screens and some features details of the Stonehenge rock. Some feature corridors and anterooms, some are blank.
You asked about the girl.
He leans over and punches a button on a console and one of the blank screens rolls and flickers. Ellie lies on a stainless steel towel somewhere in a windowless room. I think that is supposed to be a table. A dark suit stands nearby. Chalice leans down close to the screen, staring at Ellie.
Where is she?
Why? She's right in there, Mr. Chalice. By the way, your friend Miss Gutman didn't make it. Sorry.
He punches another button and another monitor flitters. A scanning shot, panning back and forth over Marge's body covered by a sheet. Chalice leans in.
Oh,
You killed her.
Who was Miss Gutman?
Just like you planned to kill every child in the
No,
world.
no, Mr. Chalice. You're mistaken. Not just like that at all. Miss Gutman was the victim of a misfire. The others... But talk is cheap, isn't it? What you really want to see is a demonstration. What good timing we're blessed with. There's one coming up.
He turns into another console, hits another button. Buddy, Betty, and little Buddy walk through the factory yard, led along by several gray suits. Buddy clutches his traveling bag.
I can't believe there are more prizes.
Ellie sure wants my advice on something. I mean, but I gotta talk to the guy. His organization is really screwing up. I'm concerned.
I'm hungry. When are we gonna have breakfast?
Oh, in a little while, honey. A little while.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Another guard lets them into the strictly no admittance door, a very plain small room with 3 TV sets. Buddy, Betty, and little Buddy walk into the room. The door closes behind them. Buddy is glowing. Little Buddy clutches a jack-o'-lantern mask.
You know what these are? My orders for next year. But they won't take them.
Daddy!
You know the way I work. A long way ahead. Not just next week, next year.
Okay, but can't we just pick up this prize and go home?
You've got to plan. I tell them, you're squandering your money, all the last minute stuff on TV. Bullshit. Just plan it. But no, Mr. Kupner. We do it our way. That's bullshit.
I'm bored.
Little Buddy tries turning on one of the TV sets. It doesn't work.
Anybody, I'll drink.
Yeah. Lou. Come on, Lou.
Still, anybody would think this is the last Halloween ever. And I'll drink.
Everyone drinks.
It's bullshit.
Buddy, I want to go home.
Hold on just a second, sweetie.
Fair enough. Let's drink.
Reload.
Okay, just to let you know, Betty, they're holding out on us. They got brand new masks all stashed away, and they won't let us see them. I find that insulting. I'm a businessman. I truly resent it. You know, you know what I've got a man to do?
And of course, he said
cocktails.
masks, so everyone's got to drink for that.
Right.
Suddenly, the 3 TV sets in the room blink on simultaneously, and little Buddy is startled. For a minute, the screens are blank, and then the final commercial appears, dancing jack-o'-lanterns and children's faces.
Debbie, take it.
Wait.
Buddy's drinking.
It's
Fine, it's time.
with silver shamrock masks.
Hey.
Move closer to your TV sets.
She said masks, so you got to drink.
Yeah.
I'm ready to drive to Tiffany's house or Brian. When I'm a really good driver, when I've been drinking.
I'm
An
over.
excellent driver.
Little Buddy immediately responds to the announcer. He quickly pulls on his mask and moves up close to one of the screens. Chalice is watching a TV screen. Buddy, Betty, and Little Buddy stare at the commercial on the TV sets. A growing terror comes over Chalice. Cochran also watches a monitor, and a slow smile moves across his features. All the sounds from the small room come over a speaker. A technician operates the controls on a panel, and Chalice glances at the various buttons the technician is pushing, then looks back at the screen.
Oh, what's this? This is the famous prize they're going to give you.
No, they wouldn't do. Maybe they want us to give our opinions.
Buddy and Betty watch one of the TV sets, and Little Buddy is riveted by 4 inches from the screen.
What opinions?
Whether or not we like the final commercial, that's just it.
Well, you said you thought it was a waste of time.
Close up on Little Buddy, the jack-o'-lantern mask face up to the screen, the commercial rolling. Suddenly the TV screen flashes. A small, brilliant light glows, and then the screen goes black. And then the glow again, flashing on and off like a strobe light. Little Buddy slowly raises his hands to the mask. The glowing, flashing light flickers on their faces.
Now, what is this? They screwed up the commercial.
I think that this whole thing is just a big joke.
Buddy and Betty stand across the room by a TV, and suddenly Little Buddy lurches back into frame, staggering, swaying back on his heels, his hands clutching the jack-o'-lantern mask. He pitches forward on the floor, Chalice staring at the scene in horror. Buddy continues to watch the flickering TV screen, and Betty turns around.
Little Buddy.
And then she opens her mouth, not quite a scream, a sort of speechless shock. Little Buddy raises up, his hands up to his mask, which is now melting away from his face. His eyes are 2 blood-red orbs, and the skin around them red, blistered, and bursting. Then Little Buddy pitches forward again. Now Little Buddy lies on the floor, body twitching, and then out of the mouth of the mask, a small, furry appendage, and then another, until a spider slowly crawls out. Buddy and Betty scream. Buddy turns and sees his son. Something else emerges from the expelling mouth, a long, black snake. It slides evilly across the bloody floor. Betty moves towards her son. Something small and black and wriggling leaps on her face. The spider hugs her face. She shrieks in horror and lurches backward. The 8-legged thing stings her again and again. He doesn't know what to do first. Gripped in a paralyzing fear, Buddy moves towards his son. Out of the mouth comes, a lizard. Buddy moved in for his wife. Buddy crumbles to the floor. The spider covers her face like a clutching hand, and suddenly Buddy screams and looks down. The snake is bitten into Buddy's leg. It holds on, its teeth sunk way into his flesh. Chalice can barely look at the screen. What next, a goat? Buddy screams over on the speaker. Cochran turns from the screen.
A plague is on them, Mr. Chalice. Think of that in 50 million homes. All those little children in their masks in front of their TV sets.
Oh, stop. Silence from the speakers. Chalice looks at the screen. Masks. Buddy, Betty, and little Buddy lie on the floor, motionless, dead as shit. The TV sets continue to flicker. High-tech area. Nice. Chalice turns to Cochran.
What is your damage, dude?
Seriously.
It's time again. The planets are in syzygy.
Yeah, good luck.
Syzygy.
Yeah, go ahead. Have a drink for that. It's not
Hey, listen, smart Natasha, okay?
Tiffany.
That's your nickname, Smart Natasha.
I'm really, really pretty.
That's a G.
It's time again. The planets are in, what was it?
Syzygy.
Okay. It's time again. The planets are in syzygy. It's Sam Hain. I'm going to change the world tonight forever, and you get to share it.
Just staring at Cochran is Chalice, and the factory guards close in on him. Halloween montage, Residential Street, a quiet suburban tree-lined residential street, children dressed in Halloween costumes and silver shamrock masks, carrying bags of candy. Muncie, Indiana. At a toy store, children are giggling and clerks pull masks off the rack, and the silver shamrock display a gyrating skull head.
It's Halloween tonight, kids. Get your silver shamrock mask now.
On another street,
Obviously,
more children in silver shamrock masks. Dayton, Ohio. The silver shamrock commercial. And the announcer says,
Who's the announcer?
"Oh, it's Halloween tonight, kids. Get your silver shamrock mask and watch the big Halloween horror-thon."
Oh, shit. 3 drinks?
You
Los
take
Angeles-
Kenzo's line?
Yeah, who is responsible for that? Have a finish your drink.
Billy, you suck.
What did I do? The Los Angeles skyline.
He does, though.
The skyline of downtown LA. Children in Halloween costumes. The witch, jack-o'-lantern, and skull masks are being cleaned off a shelf. Another residential street in Bowling Green, Kentucky. The sun is going down. A large delivery truck moves by, and the silver shamrock logo emblazoned on the side.
It's Halloween tonight, kids.
Oh,
Watch
that's
the
a
horror-thon
shame.
with your silver shamrock masks.
Damn it.
And be by your television at 9 o'clock.
And now we're in
2
Phoenix.
drinks.
I saw so few people drink for that. There's a Halloween mention.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, you're right. Sorry.
And
I
a
was
mask.
really
Drink
mesmerized.
up.
I need
Two
a
drinks
refill.
now.
We're going to.
I was
forgot
being
about
too
that.
subtle.
line in an
Okay.
hour.
All right.
Drink
Fair
up.
enough.
Back in the
Gotta
small
call him
room,
out,
Chalice
Chris.
is securely tied to a chair, and in front of him is a TV set. He stares nimbly at the screen. Halloween is being shown. Cochran stands behind Chalice,
Hey.
Funny.
holding a skull mask. He slips it over Chalice's head and makes sure the mask is secure.
Oh, shit. Sorry. Okay. I was refilling.
You
Drink.
can just have one for fun.
Come on, Kenzo. Let's keep this thing on the track.
What am I? I'm just a drinker. I'm not supposed to be
Quiet,
calling him
Temple.
out.
Happy Halloween, Mr. Chalice.
Drink.
And
Drink for that.
I don't need to
Behind
say
the skull
drink, but
mask,
I'm going
Chalice's
to.
eyes, they glance to the wall. 747. Another concrete room, TV cameras. Ellie is tied to a chair, and in front of her is a TV set. The movie Halloween. Laurie Strode walks across a dark street. Spooky music. A witch mask is pulled over Ellie's head. Laurie Strode walks up to Wallace house, struggling in the chair. Through the skull mask eye holes, Chalice's eyes dart around. 750. On a TV screen, we see Chalice on the small room from ceiling level, and he watches the screen. Cochran walks up, glances at the screen, then walks away. The technician turns away to another console for a moment. Chalice stares at the remote TV, then at the TV in front of him. The theme from Halloween tinkles mindlessly. In a rage, Chalice lunges forward with the chair. His feet hit the base of the TV, toppling it. The TV set hits the floor. The screen implodes with a dull crack. The glass on the front of the screen is shattered in large shards. Stares at the shattered TV, does Chalice, and then at the remote camera in the ceiling. Then Chalice tips himself over, and the chair slams down on the floor feet away from the TV. The technician is completely turned into attention to to the console next to him. He doesn't see the image on the TV screen. Chalice, still tied to the chair, sliding across the floor to the broken set. Chalice inches the chair up to the front of the TV. He maneuvers himself so that his tied hands are inches from the shards. Chalice's hands inch up the broken shards, and finally he slips the ropes around from one large piece of glass and begins rubbing the rope furiously against the glass. He rubs and tugs and pulls. Finally, the rope breaks. His hands are free. Chalice rips off the skull mask and looks up at the remote TV camera, takes careful aim, and lobs the skull mask like a frisbee. The skull mask lands right on the lens of the remote camera. The technician finally turns back to the TV screen and is completely blank.
I have a malfunction on
camera 7. Sorry, that's me. Sorry.
That's a drink. Chalice has grabbed the shard from the TV set and he saws away on the rope, still biting his feet. Finally, he rips them off, scrambles to his feet, quickly moves to the door, tries it locked. Chalice looks around the room. His eyes stop. A ventilator panel on the wall. He grabs the chair and rushes to the wall under the ventilator panel, and Cochran is seated at a desk in the high-tech area. He is on the telephone.
There were a few we didn't manage to sell. The odd 50,000. Not many, but the reports of our dealers are phenomenal. We've sold close to 150 million masks.
And that's a drink.
Mr. Cochran.
I'm already so drunk that I thought it was me wearing the mask and dying, and there's more fucking lines.
Oh, yeah.
You're not dead. You're not dead at all.
But it's Marge.
Keep going.
Thanks, Natasha.
You've got more right now.
Is Marge dead?
Mr. Cochran. Mr. Cochran.
Yes,
Mr.
yes,
Cochran.
phenomenal.
You're-
And I just got a phone call from the network. They're projecting 43 shares for the Horathon.
The one
Yes.
network.
God, we've got a sequel.
I am delighted. That's right, 9 o'clock. I wouldn't miss it.
And there was
Chalice
only
shakes the
one
ventilator
network.
panel out of the wall and he lets it fall to the floor. In front of him is a large rectangular hole, and behind it is the aluminum heating duct. Chalice pulls himself up into the hole, and the camera moves the clock on the wall. 8:11. Chalice crawls along the heating duct and he rounds a corner of ventilator panel, and Chalice crawls up to it and peers out.
Good,
Technicians are at their consoles, and Cochran seated at the desk talking on the telephone. Chalice quickly crawls away.
Go, Billy.
Yes, I will.
He hangs up.
Thank you again.
Mr. Cochran,
Yes.
there's a problem with camera 7.
Chalice comes to a junction in the duct and 2 ways to go. Above him is a small access panel, and he quickly opens it up. Chalice emerges on the roof of the factory, and he carefully replaces the access panel, and then he makes his way across the roof. Chalice stops. Ahead of him is a revolving TV camera, and Chalice presses himself into the shadows, moving off into another direction. He scampers across the roof, ducking down to avoid the view of another rope camera. Finally, he makes it over to the edge. He flattens himself on the eave and lowers himself onto the side. Cochran and the technician are standing over a console, still blank. Suddenly, the image appears. A guard rips the mask off the lens. We see the overturned chair, the shattered TV set, the ventilator panel on the floor, and Cochran and the technician.
We've lost him.
Not yet.
Cochran moves over to another console. From the ceiling, a view of Ellie tied to her chair in front of a TV set. Then we see the door open, and then we see Chalice dash in and start untying Ellie. He smiles.
Wow.
Of course.
Wow.
And then they have sex. Just kidding. The room springs to life. Guards run for exits. Technicians move to
Wait,
the
do I hit
console.
20, 25, 25, 30?
Chalice unties
Yeah.
Ellie. They dash out of the floor.
Billy,
Going
go,
once,
Billy,
going
go.
twice. Sold to the lady on the third row. Camera pan glides with Chalice and Ellie, and they race down a corridor full speed. Wham! Not the band. Chalice and Ellie burst through a door, start to move forward down the corridor, and then stop at the other end of the second corridor. Factory guards race towards them. They get down another hallway. Camera runs along with Chelsea's chassis and shit.
Drink.
Through a dark warehouse
Did we
area.
just go
Past off
through
to-
like 20 pages in 10 seconds?
I think
It's
so.
what I
Billy.
do.
This is incredible.
I thought it was safe to go to the bathroom, and I've
Great
missed
box
so
sister.
much.
Chalice stops short, pulls Ellie down behind a large crate, just missing the view of a revolving TV camera in the ceiling. There are large TV monitors in every corner of the warehouse. Factory guards pour into the warehouse area. At one end of the room is a large glass control booth. This is the high-tech area. Stairs lead up to a door in the booth. A
Go,
glass
Billy.
window looks down into the warehouse area, and Cochran watches the guard searching around, and then he moves to the door. Cochran emerges from the high-tech area and starts down the stairs, hiding. As the guard's searching for the hiding Chalice and Ellis, Chalice softly grabs a large box lying nearby, and he carefully pulls open the top. The box is filled with tiny trefoil Legos. They look at each other. Cochran and
Legos?
The word was
Legos.
logos, not Legos. So I
Logos. Oh, goddamn it. Had a whole bottle of
Don't worry, Billy. I don't
For
know
the
who
Legos, come
invited
on.
had a
Natasha.
whole bottle of mezcal.
Sorry, you were
done with that?
doing
Come on,
pretty
baby.
good, but
Billy, you
You're
fucking
so close. Let's go, Billy Ray. You're so close. Here we go.
Cochran and the guards move slowly past the machines and crates and
Kenzo,
moves in
keep
return.
it on
Cochran stops
track.
in the center of the room. The guards fan out. Cochran remains in the middle. We catch a glimpse of Chalice and Ellie moving up the stairs of the high-tech area behind them. Chalice and Ellie dart into the high-tech area, and before any of the technicians can react, Chalice races to a console. Chalice's hand punches several buttons, trying to find the right one. Suddenly, the large TV monitors in the room flash to life. Each one of them, the last TV commercial. Cochran spins around, looks up toward the high-tech area. Chalice and Ellie race out of the high-tech area across the catwalk above Cochran and the guards.
Stop them!
Suddenly, the flashing strobe light begins on the monitors.
Stop them!
Chalice thrusts his hands into the box, grabbing handfuls of logos, not Legos. He hurls them down. The logos hit the flickering screen. A spark zips firing a microchip, then another zip, and another. A factory guard is hit with a microchip, and he instantly short circuits. Silicone slime sprays out of his mouth. His body locks into a rigid position and falls to the floor. Chalice holds up the box and dumps it over the edge of the catwalk, and the tiny logos tumble forward, raining, turning. The logos pass the screen. The sparks are zipping everywhere. The microchips find their targets. Guards shudder and go rigid all around. The sparks flash into them. They tumble to the floor. Cochran stands for a moment, looking up at Chalice. He seems almost impressed by the turn of the tables. Something close to a smile crosses his lips, and then he is covered with sparks, as if a swarm of fiery hornets have covered him. The flashing and sparking from below illuminate Chalice and Ellie running down the catwalk. Cochran undergoes the most appalling change. He seems to be swelling to a monstrous size, towering above the fallen guards around him. His head is bulging, pushing outward into some strange shape. It continues to swell, melting, changing into the shape of a grotesque pumpkin. Then Cochran collapses, a twitching heap on the floor, dead as goddamn shit.
Oh!
The whole warehouse area is exploding. Sparks catching on the packing insulation. There are flames now. Flames lick in the windows of the factory, and somewhere we hear a dull explosion. Boom.
Boom.
Chalice and Ellie race across the factory yard. Ellie's car rolls along the lovely road.
Oh, Drake.
It was a roar.
Ellie's car rolls
page
along the
97,
road. Chalice drives like a madman. Ellie is next to him in the passenger seat, and Chalice turns on the radio.
What's the announcer say?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what does the announcer say?
Expecting overcast skies and a 50% chance of rain through Monday. It's presently 74 degrees at 8:48 p.m.
Chalice pushes down on the accelerator.
Gotta make it to that gas station. Another 5 or 6 miles.
And then that jingle. It's all
almost
go.
time
for Halloween, Halloween, Halloween.
Take your mask off, TV screen.
Oh, 3 drinks.
Chalice clicks off the radio. He glances over at Ellie. She sits quietly in the seat.
Ellie, are you all right?
Suddenly, Ellie turns to Chalice, a cold, blank expression on her face. There's just a beat. And then she lunges for him. Her hand snaps across his face like a steel vise. Her other hand grabs the wheel of the car.
Ellie!
The car swerves wildly along the road. Chalice and Ellie battle viciously. He tries to push her away, but her strength is too much. She claws at his face, leaving tracks of bloodied flesh. Chalice slams at her face with his fist. The blows register no impact. Her face is calm, emotionless. Ellie's hand yanks the wheel hard to the right. The car heads right for a tree. Ka-wham! Not the band. The front end buckled in like a child's toy. The car thumps down to the ground from the impact. Chalice tumbles out of the car, rolling across the ground, and he shakes, scrambles to his feet. Ellie emerges from the other side, stands up, and we see that one of her arms is missing, but still the calm, even expression on her face. Chalice's face is frozen with horror. He runs to the rear of the car. The trunk is sprung open. Chalice reaches inside and grabs a tire iron, but suddenly, from around the side of the car, Ellie is out of him again. Her single arm snapping out and locking on his face. Chalice raises the tire iron and slams it home, right across Ellie's face with a whap. She staggers back stiffly, silicone spewing from her mouth. Chalice moves forward, raises the tire iron again, and swings. Whang! Ellie spins around, her head cocked at an impossible angle. Then she falls face forward to the ground. He stares down at her, motionless, eyes open. From the torn joint of her severed arm pours silicone, and we can see electronics slowing, spinning at a stop. Chalice slowly moves back to the car. He slides in, puts the car in reverse, tries to back it off the tree, but the car only grinds and rocks back and forth. He starts to slide back out. When Ellie's severed arm leaps up from the floor, the fingers clamp around his face. Chalice stumbles back out, the arm stuck fast to his head. He rolls on the ground, finally pulls the fingers off and hurls the arm away from him and scrambles to his feet. The severed arm lies on the ground, the fingers still moving, clawing. Chalice turns away from the horror and races off into the night. At the gas station, Chalice, filthy, ragged, and probably confused as fuck, races up to the gas station. He halts warily to the side of a man emerging from the lighted booth. This is Jones, coming nearer as Chalice rushes to him.
Jones again?
Gotta.
Sure, man, you can use the phone. No? You can lay out here, too.
He's catching his breath.
Yeah,
all right. Catch your breath, buddy. In through the good air, out through the bad.
You okay? I mean, you okay?
Amigo. Oh, my God.
Gotta use your phone.
Maybe not.
Gotta use your phone. It's a matter of life or death.
It was working a second ago. Go right ahead. Sure, come on in. Come on. I take them all the time.
Chalice goes tottering into the gas station, followed by Jones. It is minutes later. Chalice is telephoning and keeping his eyes on the small, battered TV set. It is showing the last commercial. The sound is off.
If it goes out, that means the death of millions of people. Everyone watching. Do you want the... Let's say it's a bomb. No, I can't prove. You gotta believe me.
Chalice glances around for an instant. Jones is in the doorway watching him quizzically, and there are children, a couple of them, standing behind Jones, dressed in Halloween costumes, each wearing a silver shamrock mask. The TV screen flickers. The commercial vanishes abruptly, followed by a station signal. We apologize for this interruption. Chalice is relieved. He reaches to the TV set and clicks the channel changer. The commercial! But a second later, it too is cut off. A card reads, stand by. Chalice flips to another channel. The commercial is still there, dancing jack-o'-lantern heads.
The third channel. Get it off the air. Get it off. Get it.
In the doorway, the children watch. Now they move closer to the TV set. All of them are wearing their silver shamrock masks. Chalice watches in horror. Then the flashing flickering starts from the TV off screen. The strobing light plays across his face, glittering in his wild, terrified eyes.
Turn it off now. For God's sakes, man. Turn it off now. Stop it. Turn it off. Stop it. Stop it. You gotta stop the fucking thing. You gotta take it. You gotta take it the fuck off the television, man. I'm telling you, I promise you, you gotta take this thing off. I'm telling you, I know, dude. I know. Just take it the fuck off. Just take it off of the kids' face and the fucking spiders. You take it off.
Who knows?
I got spiders.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of Halloween 3.
And that,
What a
ladies and
movie.
gentlemen, is the end of Arachnophobia meets Leprechaun meets The Matrix.
That was good on the Wicker Man.
We're
Thank
so
you guys
happy
for
that.
that.
You guys have decided to do this again for the 10 o'clock listeners.
Exactly.
We're back to page
Yeah.
1.
No,
Yeah, the 10 o'clock listeners, they can just watch me piss my
round
pants.
two.
there are 335 scenes in this script.
What?
Which is unheard
That's
of in the
accurate.
history of cinema.
I think Tom Atkins read this script and just got drunk and was like, nope. Yep, I'll read that.
I think we do this as
Likely.
a stage play.
Yeah, definitely.
That makes sense.
I just want to
I
know
agree.
who is he calling at the end? Or the secret overlord of all the fucking television networks?
Ted
All
Turner.
One
three.
guy.
Well, I can think he's
All
talking
three
to Linda.
networks.
Oh, yeah, you got channel
Well,
4 and you
I
got 5,
just
but you
wanna
never turned
ask
on
you
channel
guys-
7.
Five.
Who is this
Ladies
guy?
of
What is
horror.
backstory?
Now,
Scream
Linda took
Queen,
her phone
Ladies
off
of
the hook.
Horror.
Oh, that's right. She took it off the hook.
Yeah, it's the 80s. You could take your phone off the hook and no one could call you.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
Billy, I'm gonna ask the ladies of horror. Is
Do
this
a lot of coke and vote for
this
Ronald
whole
Reagan.
Holy shit,
Is
who's singing
what,
that?
Lou?
Nice.
Whoa.
Freaking hobgoblins, yeah.
But guys, you know
Drink
what? I need to
hobgoblins.
point out
Please do a lot of coke and vote
Hey,
for
vote for Ronald
this
Reagan.
film actually does pass the Bechdel test. Because there is a scene with Marge and Ellie where they are not
That's
talking
true.
about a man.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true.
Marge
Yeah,
is the
that's
only
the-
woman. You know what I just noticed in the script? The red-haired lady that spends the whole movie looking at the robot's ashes is not in it. They took her out.
She's gone.
or
There's
she
a
added
lot
it.
that's
Oh,
not in
yeah,
this.
the
script.
lab
Yeah.
technician.
hot, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was a
good.
fun role.
Guys, I'm
Because this
looking forward to
script
watching
was
this
for
movie now. I
Tom
really
Atkins
am.
sexually harassed- Tom Atkins had a note. He was like, I only sexually
Oh,
harassed two
absolutely.
women.
And you know what, guys, now's a good time to tell the people at home that if you have not yet donated to our charity for the night, which is Everytown for Gun Safety,
Yes.
again, you can go to our website. You can click on the donate tab at the very top, and it's going to take you directly there. I've already got quite a few screenshots sent in, so that's awesome. It's also posted throughout the chat. You can donate there as well. If you stumble upon this read a week from now, as a lot of people do, you can still donate. Always donate when you check this out. And again, no amount is too big or too small.
Dude, I'm a
And
cowboy.
I'm gonna to top it and say that I'm gonna take my script and I'm gonna sign it and I'm gonna have Sean sign it because he has to because he lives in my house, and I'm gonna try to get as many of the people that are on this screen to sign it. I
sign
can't
it.
promise you all of them, but the ones that I can, you'll get that too. So
Awesome.
that's kind of dope.
That's even better. So in
Considering
addition,
none of
to-
us were in this,
So
but
that means you get the Blu-ray
won't
of
sign it.
Halloween
It'll be
3.
worth more.
You get the vinyl of the Halloween 3 soundtrack. You get one of the 3 masks from the film. and a script signed by as many people as she can get to sign it.
God
That's
It's
amazing.
like just not even people who are even here, just all people.
Yeah,
let's
Just all
sign it with a bunch of
people.
random people.
Some dude.
That's an
Tiffany
amazing
can get.
prize. So if you want to win that,
Obama
make a
signed
donation. Send us your
What
screenshot.
is Sean Gunn doing, Natasha?
He will. Sean, will you sign this script?
Of course he will.
He hasn't been drinking as much as we have.
Then
He's
that means
like,
yes, probably.
absolutely not, Natasha, turn it off.
And so really quickly, I'm going to do a couple of shout outs to a couple of reads we have coming up next week. On November 4th, we are reading Johnny Guitar, which is a favorite of mine. We've got Carolyn Williams and a lot of fun people reading for that one. And then the next week, we are doing Galaxy Quest, which was actually voted on as by our Twitter subscribers or Twitter people. We've got Joey Kramer from Flight of the Navigator and a lot of really fun people for that one as well. And since it's related because it's horror, a really special thing we're doing December 16th. For those Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 fans out there, Eric Freeman, who played Caldwell in that film, has written a unproduced direct sequel to Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 called Unhinged. And we are going to be performing that on December 16th with Eric, who's going to be reprising his role for the first time in 33 years.
Wow.
So that's super excited. We're really excited about that as well.
Donate. Now you have to do it.
Yes. So please make a donation. And I'm going to introduce our amazing cast one more time. We have Tiffany Shepis.
Yay!
Danielle Harris.
Yay!
Cerina Vincent.
Yay!
Brian Quinn.
Yay! Oh, yay!
Lou Temple.
Yay!
Rain Pryor.
Yes!
Yes!
Debbie Rochon.
Yes!
Yeah.
Hey, Deb.
Natasha Gunn.
Oh my gosh.
Michael Varrati.
Yay!
John Tretta. Izzy Lee.
Yay!
Brian Collins.
Yeah.
Robert Eisenhauer. Our designated drinker for the night, Kenzo Lee.
I'm so glad I drank for you, Debbie. Thanks for that.
Watch
Our
that movie.
co-host for the evening, Chris Devlin.
Thanks,
Yes.
And now is the time when everybody, we're going to do a screenshot. So on the count of 3, everybody do their best.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, wait, let's all look
get
hot.
ready.
Oh, wait.
Q.
Which side, Danielle? Which is my better side? Wait, this one or this one? Wait, hold on.
They're all gorgeous.
This, right?
Yeah,
Q, you look great.
Does this look natural? Does this look natural?
Okay.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Hey, and everybody, Billy Brewster.
Yeah, Billy Bridgen.
Great job, man.
Thank you guys so much.
What a host.
Thank you.
Everybody wave goodbye to the folks at home.
Bye.